So as you said, you're about more than halfway through on filming of the final season. So for all of you, emotionally, where are you at, knowing that it's the final episodes that you're filming?
There's a famous quote from David Bowie where they said, "What do you think your final words are going to be when you die?" And he goes, "They're going to be ba 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 ba." That's kind of how I feel right now.
How does it feel to be bringing Daryl Dixon to a close?
These are the guys on the ground. I'm back in Los Angeles, or I'm in Boston, or I'm elsewhere. I guess it's more like pride, and to see the thing that they've built, to see just how different it is, just how signature it is. The big thing about Walking Dead and the shows are sort of following the story values of The Walking Dead. Daryl Dixon created its own story values and was very specific with them, very consistent with them, and I think created just a whole new entertainment in the universe. And I'd like to see more storytelling like it, because it really has emerged as its own thing and one of the bbest things that the universe has produced.
Yeah, it's really cool that it gives us a vehicle to see how the Walker apocalypse hit different parts of the world. Yeah. That's been really one of the parts that I enjoyed most about the series.
It answers questions for the audience, but there's an intimacy to this show. The casting on this show is insane, and just how personal.
Did you say the cast is insane?
I said the casting is insane,
sorry.
but I'm not precluding. I'm not precluding the cast from being insane. Some of them are.
The cast is insane, and the cast is insane.
Yeah. I will say, my point of view is a little different than these guys because they've been on for so long and are in sort of various tentacles of the Walking Dead universe. This has been my thing, just this thing. I came on with a special mission. So as we're looking at the end of season 4, it's very moving to me and very satisfying and rewarding, a little sad, but mostly happy because I think we set out, when Norman and I first sat down and talked about what did he want it to be and what did he want the show to look like and feel like and everything, we set out to do something, and it's rare in this business to sort of get to a point where you're like, I think we did what we set out to do. Some people love it, some people like it, some people like something else more, but we set out to do what we wanted to do, and we think that it's really solid, great show.
And some people get tattoos of it.
Some people get tattoos of it, yeah.
Yeah. What's the Walking Dead bucket list that you have of things you still have yet to do?
For Daryl Dixon or the world? Because,
both.
I mean, look, these guys said it very well. Having a chance to explore the zombie apocalypse in different cultures and different countries really was exciting. And it's strange because I feel like we just started. Because we did season 1 and 2. We did season 1 and 2 back to back. So it was like 1 and 2, and then we went back and did 3. And so it just feels like we're just getting started. But, the reality is Halloween night this year is 15 years since The Walking Dead premiered. So, I've been in the universe for 16 years. And the last 3.5, 4 years with David and the team on Daryl Dixon has been tremendously rewarding for me, just from a story element and just the experiences. Because right when you think, oh, they've done it all, what can we do differently? David and the writing staff come up with unique and different ideas and fun things that keep it interesting for even somebody like me who's been in the world for a long time. So
yeah. Norman, is there anything you haven't done in this franchise that you're itching to do still?
Get a cat.
My big thing was doing a Western, and I think, especially with episode 5 of the season, it felt like a Western. We shot it in Belchite, where the Spanish Civil War was, in the area where they shot a lot of the spaghetti Westerns. So that's what I really always wanted to do, is make a long-standing Western version of the show that felt Western. Spain has all those elements, obviously, because they shoot that stuff there. I don't know, I feel pretty satisfied with that. I'd like to do more of that.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah. And this being the final season, I wonder what peace would look like for Daryl Dixon.
I don't know, we talked about that too. Walking into some village and he's got all these scars all over his face, but he just never mentions what they're from. because he doesn't want to wreck their day. You know? So I don't know what peace would look like. I've always said, how do I want this story to end? You know, because people die on the show all the time, and I was always like, I've been saying this since like season 1. I always wanted him to walk up over a hill, a little dog jumps out of the bushes, and he goes up and over the hill, and then people go, what happened to that guy? You know? So yeah, that's kind of how I always wanted it to end.
Yeah, and I know Melissa is not here, unfortunately, but what do you think peace would look like for Carol? Or maybe what does Daryl hope for Carol in that regard?
I think you got to keep watching the show. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We definitely like examined that question for both characters. Like what would contentment look like? What would a sense of peace and being at rest in the world look like? Even in the Walker apocalypse, is there a way to find that?
Do you think there is?
I think there is, but it's not easy. It's not easy, and so that's sort of what this. We're talking about season 3, season 4, which is the final season. That really examines, really head on for both characters, coming at it from very different angles. What it would take for them to find peace, and what's preventing them. What's preventing them from that, and is there a path to it?
Yeah, and a really interesting concept that this whole franchise brings up is the fact that like peace, however you find it, if you find it, it's never going to look how you thought it was before this Walker apocalypse, right? You have to like come to terms with the fact that life's never going to be back to what it was.
There's, and that what's interesting is, we're talking about peace in season 4. Season 3, we're at a point now where things have become so unbelievably pressurized that they're going to explode. And it's just the opposite of peace right now. It's intensity. Episode 5 showed that. And it just builds and builds and builds, both emotionally in action and even in some Walker stuff that happens, this way that we just haven't seen before. Ways that I was fully skeptical about. That I was like, I don't know if this can be done. And it was done brilliantly.
Can you give a sense of what that was?
Can I? Would I?
Yeah, you can.
Really?
I mean,
Isn't that tonight's up to tomorrow's episode?
there's some stuff in trail.
I want to talk about finale, actually.
Well, you could talk about one that's already aired, right?
But I'm talking about, I wasn't
Oh, you're
skeptical
trying to-
about
yeah.
everything. It was this one, you know what, we're lost.
I will tell you, I was skeptical that we would be able to pull off the Walkers pulling the train in the desert in
Yeah.
episode 5.
Oh, no, I was skeptical about that
I
too,
loved
yeah.
that idea.
And
It's
it
funny,
was-
I wasn't at all.
And I was very worried that we
Well,
would.
not great or bad, skeptical.
So we've done a bunch of things like that, including some that are coming up on the episodes that haven't aired yet, but over the course of the show. But the Walkers pulling the train required so many elements, in terms of location, in terms of finding a train, in terms of getting a lot of walkers out there, and then multiplying them with VFX and post and all kinds of things that were required. I was worried that would stretch our resources to their limit, and but we had to make it look good.
And that's the thing, you had to believe it could happen, and all those elements coming together did. And the word that comes to mind for that when I saw it was majestic. It's like a herd of buffalo pulling a train. But, buffalo are nicer to you.
Norman, did you have any skepticism about that train sequence?
No.
Yeah, you're like, I'm
You had
in for
no
the ride,
skepticism.
literally.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no. Going back, there's a lot of people right now in the season 3 and in 4 that are making lemonade out of lemons. So that's sort of a big story point going in after 3.
Yeah, and just to wrap up really quickly, how does where we leave off in 3 set the stage for 4? Where are we headed here? Not literally, I'm not asking for spoilers.
Well, I was going to say that explosion has consequences. That is so lame. That is so oblique. I'm the last person who should be saying it. I'm looking at Dave.
Okay, I take
Well,
that
how does
back away.
3? How's the end of 3 set up 4?
Yeah,
Well, it goes back a little. Well, they find themselves having to carve out a new path in 4, and 4 is quite different. Even though it continues the story in Spain, and some of the characters continue, the story of season 4 is a world that's even more embattled, endangered, and falling apart than what we see in season 3. That sort of pushes them to the limit and is scarier.
And that's the end of season 4. Episode the finale of season 3, I'm saying. The finale of season 3 also, all the elements of the season come together, they crash together. And it's some of the most intense stuff I've seen in a while.
But also, like, in 3, people are fighting for love. We never really fought for love on the show. So that's a big door into 4, is what people will do for love and how important that is and how do they make lemonade, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, few things are more motivating than that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.